going to open the floor for the question and answer session. And yes,
Can I just say one little thing?
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I think that Turkey is very enthusiastic, or at least I feel that Turkey is very enthusiastic to begin this relationship. And there's a couple reasons behind my thinking, some logic. Now, if you remember about 5 years ago, Turkey tried to sign a deal with Sudan for Swakin Island. So Turkey has had a desire to make a presence felt in Eastern African waters for some time now. This isn't something new. This isn't something that the Turks thought up of just a couple of weeks ago or a couple of months ago. They've had this desire, at least I believe, since 2018, 2017. Now, when you look at the investments of the Turkish Navy as well, the building of multiple corvettes and frigates under the National Milgem project, and the building of a light helicopter deck carrier, or you can call it a light aircraft carrier if you want, that's going to be carrying Turkish drones in the future. So when you look, and the newly built submarines as well. So when you look at these investments and you look at the naval thinking, Turkey is developing a blue water navy, and it's developing it rather quickly as well. So when you look at the capacity building domestically of the Turkish Navy, its ambitions are to have a blue water navy, and it has shown in the past a desire for a long-term lease in the Red Sea via Swakin Island with the Sudanese. So I do think that they're enthusiastic. This is a region that they want to be active in. This is a region that they want to be present in. And I think that if this deal goes well and the Somalians are happy and the Turks are happy with the results, and it turns into a win-win type of engagement, I think that the Turks, in the longer term, they're going to be looking for a territory to build a naval base in the future. I don't think that's far-fetched. So I do think that they're enthusiastic. I think that they want this deal to succeed. I think they want to show and project that they are a success and they can build capacity. They can protect maritime waters that are considered an expeditionary situation for them. So they want to be able to show that capacity. And again, I think that they have a much forward-looking and futuristic vision of what they can either do with Somalia or another East African country in the future. So I think there's a bigger picture and a bigger end game for the Turks. So this is a very important engagement because it allows to showcase what they can do for East African countries and their territorial waters.
And the tension that has risen from that agreement. Based on your own analysis, is it possible that this defense agreement that Somalia has entered with the Republic of Turkey, do you foresee that this will force the government of Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, to walk back from its memorandum of understanding agreement with the breakaway region of Somaliland?
Thanks. Well, the short answer is no, not on the face of it. First of all, it isn't clear, as Samir has been pointing out, that this agreement creates any obligation by Turkey to sort of enforce Somali sovereignty or territorial integrity or any of those questions from the perspective of Mogadishu. I can't imagine that Turkey would sign and then swiftly implement an agreement like that, given the relationship that it has and the presence of Turkish corporates and the interest that it has in Ethiopia. It's I might not paint as rosy a picture as Yusuf, but I think he's right to highlight that Turkey has positive relations with all the countries in question here, and wouldn't be wanting to do anything to jeopardize that. And indeed, the evolution of its relationship, for example, with Ethiopia, moving from mainly economic, to a more economic and security relationship, isn't a sort of either or a signal of a shift in Turkish foreign policy. Really, it's an evolution of the landscape in the region. So Turkey has a security relationship with Ethiopia. This is partly because Ethiopia's security relationships with its traditional Western partners, developed over the last 20 years or more, we're having setbacks in the context of Ethiopia's internal conflict from 2020. So that was sort of capitalizing on opportunity, building on existing relationship. I can't then see Turkey saying, well, we've had a relationship with Somalia for longer, so of course we'll pick sides in this tension. I don't think that's going to happen at all. It is, though, important signaling, and it is important in the sense that it shows the way that Somalia, the Somali federal government in Mogadishu, which has control over the formal organs of Somali sovereignty, is exercising that in ways that speak to the position of the Somaliland government and the way that it's able to exercise its claims of sovereignty. And you can see those manifesting in quite different ways. So it does send important signals, but it's not something that's going to unwind the MOU that was signed that was announced at the beginning of the year. And I think it's important also to remember this isn't the first Ethiopia-Somaliland deal that's been agreed. And in a similar way to what we've been talking about with the Turkish deal, the details here are also unknown. None of this is public. All we have to go on is 30% speculation and 70% some drips and things that have been said by diplomats and other officials, but aren't finalized. So this is another thing another agreement that's a framework. It isn't a final deal yet. Both sides have been very clear that the final terms haven't been agreed. And I think given the scale of this negotiation, that might not come anytime soon. So we can get into that more if you want to, but I think that the first thing to say is this isn't going to change the calculus in Addis Ababa off of